Once there was a young woman named Sarah who loved tending her garden. It was her sanctuary, filled with vibrant flowers, lush greenery, and the soothing sound of birds. She took pride in nurturing each plant, ensuring her garden thrived. One day, Sarah noticed a strange vine creeping into her garden from the neighboring yard. At first, it seemed harmless, so she ignored it. But soon the vine began to grow aggressively, wrapping itself around her plants and stealing their sunlight. The once bright flowers started to wilt, and the garden lost its peace. Sarah's friend Layla visited and saw the mess. "Why haven't you removed this vine?" she asked. Sarah sighed. "It's from my neighbor's yard. I don't want to upset them by cutting it." Layla smiled gently. "Sarah, this garden is your space. If something is harming it, you have every right to protect it. Let me tell you a secret. Not everyone or everything that enters your life is meant to stay." That night, Sarah sat in her garden, looking at the tangled vine. She thought about Layla's words. The vine wasn't just harming her plants, it was stealing her joy. Sarah realized that sometimes, kindness to herself meant setting boundaries with others. The next morning, Sarah put on her gloves and carefully removed the invasive vine. It wasn't easy. The vine had rooted itself deeply. But Sarah stayed determined, pulling it out piece by piece. Once the vine was gone, Sarah nurtured her garden back to health. She watered the plants, added fresh soil, and gave them time to heal. Slowly, the flowers began to bloom again. When her neighbor asked about the vine, Sarah politely explained, "It was affecting my garden, so I had to remove it. I hope you understand." To her surprise, the neighbor nodded and even offered to trim their own plants to prevent future problems. Sarah's garden flourished once more, but this time she was more mindful. Whenever something new entered her space, she asked herself, "Is this helping my garden grow, or is it taking away from its beauty?" She realized her garden was like her life. Toxic relationships, like invasive vines, could creep in unnoticed. But by setting boundaries and focusing on what brought her peace, she could protect her happiness. Moral of the story: protect your personal space like a precious garden. It's okay to distance yourself from toxic people or situations. Choosing peace over conflict isn't selfish. It's self-care.